Hello and welcome back to Curbstone City and another episode of ECW Lives on TEW 2016. And we start the show with a bit of news. ECW Revolt last night in Oklahoma drew 3,240 fans. The feedback from viewers has been great and it has drawn a lot of praise. So yeah, that's a good news all around. And it was also the second best show we've ever had, above a lot of pay-per-views. With ECW Rising being the best still, which was the Japan show in September. But yeah, that's really good news. With the main event pretty much sealing the deal, with the ECW World Television title match with Samoa Joe beating Rhino. And it's also good news that Joe can hold a main event caliber match, and we've got into that level now, which is great. And we have a new signing with Doug Williams. Has earned himself a spot on the ECW Lives roster, so I think that's our first British signing. And we also have the signing of Kendo Kashin, who has actually wrestled for us before on the ECW Rising pay-per-view, and the pay-per-view that we've just been talking about was the best we've had. And yeah, he had a World Junior Heavyweight title match, and it got a 76 with Minoru Tanaka defeating him. But yeah, I thought I'd bring him in, just add a bit of depth to the roster. I think the roster's getting a bit stale. Especially the lower mid card positions. He's on $900 per appearance, is quite expensive, and he's got a 3-year deal. So we start the show with Paul Heyman stood in the ring next to a tombola, and he says, "Tonight we will be crowning the #1 contenders for the ECW World Tag Team Championships, and next to me I have a tombola machine, and in it there is the name of every wrestler on the current roster, excluding the champions. The first people that I draw will take on the last two in a tag match. The winners will become the #1 contenders. So without any further ado, let the draw begin." And the first selection is Just Incredible. And his partner will be Kenta. And then they will face Spike, and his partner will be Kevin Steen. So tonight we're going to see Just Incredible team up with Kenta against Spike, and Just Incredible's now former partner, maybe forever, maybe for a bit, Kevin Steen. So Steen Incredible for tonight are finished, and they go against each other for the chance to become tag team #1 contenders. And this got a 34E+, so not brilliant, to be honest. But yeah, moving on. In the next match, we see the tag team champions take on the Chain Gang, and in 12 minutes 14, AJ Styles and Devitt get the win after AJ pins John Cena after a Styles clash. And again, AJ was head and shoulders above everyone else. He always is in the matches. And hopefully this elevates Devitt, and maybe he learns from him. Jay Briscoe was the weakest link, struggling to keep up with everyone else in the ring. And Fergal got a 55, AJ got a 68, 40 for Briscoe, and 54 for Cena. And yeah, that got a 61C. And then in an extremely short match, Vampiro defeated Felon in 2 minutes 11 by submission with a guillotine choke. And Felon and Angel Williams, apparently a good pair, and I forgot to take her off managing him, but it's fine. I'll remember to do that. But this is basically just to show that the blackout officially finished months later. But yeah, he's just been fed to Vampiro in a squash match, pretty much. So that's that. 66 for Vampiro and 26 for Fallon, and it's got a 48D+. So again, not brilliant so far. And then Vampiro and Angel disappear after the lights go out, the usual blackout stuff. Kenta and Just Incredible draw with Spike and Kevin Steen in 8 minutes 19 following a double count out. So what happens is Just Incredible walks away and Spike Dudley walks away from the match at the same time. ending in eventually a double count out. The match has been called off, and it's a good job because neither of these teams have any chemistry whatsoever. But yeah, this is going to lead to something. 49 for Just Incredible, 42 for Kenta, 42 for Steen, and Spike got a 35, which is lower than I thought. 46D though. Then in a battle that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, Keiji Muto defeated Rhino in 10 minutes 21 by pinfall with a fast roll-up. And I'm not sure why it's not come up on here, but there was supposed to be a distraction from CM Punk, Samoa Joe and Minoru Tanaka to cost Rhino the win. Again, I fucked up a little bit there, but yeah, that was what happened. It's not being inputted into the game, but just know that's what happened. Rhino got an 81, so he's absolutely killing it at the minute, and 58 for Muta. And yeah, 67C plus, so a good main event, I guess. Rhino rolls out of the ring, furious that he lost again. And Rhino slowly backs away up the ramp when a masked man appears behind the men in the ring, and he's holding a kendo stick. Then two more men appear out of the crowd with baseball bats each, but this time they are unmasked. And the commentary say, "It's Spike. It's Just Incredible. What the hell are they doing here?" It's a big drama. It's Spike and Just Incredible. The three men jump into the ring and beat the hell out of KG, Punk, Tanaka and Joe to end the show. So it looks like two of Rhino's men was all along with Spike and Just Incredible. And the draw put them against each other, which is why they didn't fight each other, pretty much. And the performance of Samoa Joe was fantastic. Rhino was a real star in this segment, and Masked Man 2 did not come out looking good. And Spike looked lost. But yeah, C minus 55, not bad, I guess. And this show increased our popularity in 16 regions, 61C overall. And according to Vampiro, his manager Angel Williams isn't tough enough to make it in the business. Get rid of the kid. And yeah, the networks aren't happy with that last show. Neither am I, to be honest. After such a great show last week, it's disappointing to get a show like that. If we look at what went wrong, the opening promo wasn't great. I'm guessing the people that were mentioned weren't over enough. The Vampiro Felon squash match didn't do great, which doesn't help. I'm guessing that's to do with Felon's status on the roster. The same with this. I think Kenta was the main problem. Maybe Steen as well in that match, in the other tag match. The Vampiro Angel disappearing promo did as well as the last promo, so that didn't do too bad. The main event stood up to what we needed. But yeah, we're just going to have to look at this lower card. If we look last week, we're getting 56s in the matches. So yeah, let's see how we do in the next one, which I'll jump straight into now. But before we do that, Chris Hero wants a pay rise, and yeah, he wants a pay rise of 260. So we'll give him 75%, and yeah, he's alright with that. So before we get into the show, I just want to give a shout out to another TEW YouTuber that I've been watching, and he's got really good stuff. So I think if you enjoy this, you'll enjoy him. So he's called BK Plays, and he's currently doing a WWE series, Modern Day. So if you click the little circle on the screen, you'll subscribe to him. So after this episode, go and check it out. I think you'll like it. But yeah, that aside, we opened the show with a video airing stating that ECW Originals will be here tonight to address their actions last week. And this got a 46D. And then in an extremely short match, Vampiro defeats Taka in 3 minutes 7 by submission with a guillotine choke. And after last week, I gave him a better opponent. And it seems to have worked. We've got C minus 53 now. And apparently they've got pretty good chemistry. Vampiro was off his game, but still got a 77. And Taka got a 67. So yeah, good match. Taka's not doing anything, so we can take the squash match for now. And then the same blackout gimmick. The lights go out, they disappear. Him and Angel. And this got a 64C.
And then in a bout that had decent wrestling, little heat, Kevin Steen and Kenta, who were the partners in the tag match that got abandoned last week. They were on opposite teams last week. This week they team. And if they win this match, they get the tag title shot if they beat the champions tonight. And they do win. When Kenta pins Fergal Devitt. And AJ Styles again carried the match. And 55 for Devitt, 69 for Styles, 57 for Kenta. So he was the second best. And Kevin Steen was the worst in the match with 53. Which is still good for his age. I think it's still 17 or 18. But yeah, 64C. And then in a bout that had good wrestling and decent reaction from the crowd, CM Punk defeats Kaz Hayashi in 7 minutes 08. Again, Kaz isn't doing anything, and CM Punk needs a win and to stay relevant on the TV. So yeah, we give him a decent win in a good match. And C plus 71. 70 for Punk, which is good, and 67 for Hayashi, and this match got the crowd hotter. And then Paul Heyman books a tag team match that will see Fergal Devitt and AJ Styles take on Kenta and Kevin Steen for the titles at November to Remember. And then in a bout that had great wrestling and good heat, this is more like it, Rhino and Just Incredible defeat Samoa Joe and Minoru Tanaka in tonight's main event in 15 minutes 22, when Rhino defeated Samoa Joe by pinfall with a gore. And Just Incredible was the weak link with a 58, which isn't bad. It's not quite main event standard, really. But yeah, 74 for Rhino, 81 to the man of the match, Minoru Tanaka, and 78 for Samoa Joe. This got an 80, which could be our best match. Possibly. So let's find out after this segment. And after Rhino pins Samoa Joe, Credible and Rhino go into the crowd and up the steps. The masked man from last week comes out from the door behind them, accompanied by Spike. And a fan pulls his mask off to reveal that it's Tommy Dreamer. So a fan has got involved. This is obviously a plant. This would not be part of the script if it wasn't. But yeah, we've got a plant in to act as a fan. And then the ECW Originals are livid. They begin to assault the fan when from behind the Sandman appears with a kendo stick in hand. And the crowd are going wild, and the Sandman is back after we released him quite early on in the save. But the Sandman is back now, and is he back to help? Or is he back to save the fan? And then the Sandman begins to help the Originals, and half of the crowd are cheering, and then the other half are booing. And this is like nothing we have seen before. So the crowd are just divided. Half of them love the new injection. Half of them are old school ECW fans. So this has completely divided the company into two. And a huge mob of security and police take them down to the floor, and then they are handcuffed. And the show closes as they are dragged away by the police and the security. So quite a big segment. And the ECW Originals have been fully revealed. We've had 3 masked men, which were Just Incredible, Spike, and Tommy Dreamer. And now the Sandman has returned to help his fellow ECW Originals. So the stable is formed. And yeah, it's pretty big. And this has been a plan for quite a while. I didn't want to pull the trigger too soon because it wouldn't mean as much. But I've basically been building up a new image of ECW that could then clash with the old image. So yeah. Hopefully you've enjoyed the story so far. But yeah, that got a 54C minus, and Sandman has debuted his Rebel gimmick and got a very good for it. And yeah, the announcing, colour commentary did good. Rhino was a real star again in this segment, so he's really doing well so far, Rhino. And we're right to keep the belt on him all this way, to carry the company. And Spike was very underwhelming, which is a shame. It's hard to find the balance between it, because I don't want to throw away, the biggest match we could put on a pay-per-view just on a Revolt. But it's hard to also, whilst doing that, keep the rating at a good level. So yeah, it's just trying to find that balance. But yeah, it seems like we've done it this week. 71C plus, increased in 18 regions. So yeah, here we are at the emails. Juventud Guerrera has been offered a touring contract with Noah, which is fine. Help him improve, maybe get over in Japan more. ECW Revolt got a 1.92 TV rating, and Juventud Guerrera is to tour with Noah, so he has actually signed it. And it looks like we've got another great show. The fourth best we've done, that last one, November 2001. So Revolt is getting better and better. Let's look at last week as just a stumbling block. Hopefully we keep this going. That B, main event, is our third best match. It's actually joint second, technically. But nothing has quite topped Vampiro versus Juventud Guerrera in Mexico just yet. Yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed this episode, and if you have, hit the like button and subscribe for more TEW 2016 and general wrestling content. And until next time, peace.